Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 2CTV with the latest updates, this time from Germany. The German authorities and the establishment in general have been working hard to identify the threats in the country, and they have successfully managed to bring down a number of Islamic centers and mosques that have been linked to extremists, the state of Qatar, as well as the Islamic Republic of Iran. The Iranian regime are having a meltdown in reaction, and they have decided to call the ambassador of Germany for a meeting in Tehran, the capital of Iran, and the whole thing is completely kicking off. Let's get on with the show. Well, a lot of people were not expecting this sort of a robust reaction from the Germans, but following months and years of pressure coming from German citizens and of course the AfD as a political party, and even a number of members of the Christian Democratic Union, CDU, who have been pushing for this because they now know what Angela Merkel did, and before her as well. It wasn't just about Merkel in 2005 when she opened doors without vetting people's backgrounds, but even before that, for decades, Germany have been too tolerant and too soft. We obviously have so many Islamic centers and mosques that have been built over the years, and they have been keeping an eye on certain centers, but now it's escalated and they've had to shut them down, and they've just started to do that and also arrest a number of people who have been linked. This is the same Germany, by the way, that recently have been cooperating with the Spanish and the US authorities to bring down Hezbollah bases in these countries, which we reported a few days ago. Let's go to the first video we have from when they went to Hamburg, the Islamic Center of Hamburg, and then they shut down the whole thing and arrested people, and then we're going to give you guys more information. So that was a moment when they decided to enter the main Islamic center in Hamburg. That was the first one. And then following that, they've also identified other mosques around the country in different cities as well, which we're going to go through together. Now, this was, of course, needed to happen. The German police successfully executed police raids against 54 locations connected to the Islamic Center in Hamburg, which is linked to the Islamic Republic of Iran. The center has now been banned for extremism and spreading totalitarian ideology. If Germany could do this, all the other European countries could do it too. Both Iran and Qatar are sponsors when it comes to these mosques in Europe, across the continent. And of course, the one good thing about this is that we always criticize the influence of Germany in the European Union, but this time actually it's a good thing, because Germany are the leaders of the European Union. So if they have finally, with a lot of pressure on them, managed to get their act together and to do this, then they can also influence other members of the European Union, from France and Sweden to others, to successfully do this. The one time that I'm going to be praising the Germans' influence in the European Union. So when we go to the details, the interior minister in Germany gave out a statement saying that today we banned the Islamic Center in Hamburg, which promotes an Islamist, extremist, totalitarian ideology in Germany. This Islamist ideology is opposed to human dignity, women's rights, an independent judiciary, and our democratic government. She also claimed that the group and its sub-organizations support Hezbollah and spread aggressive anti-Semitism. And obviously Germany outlawed the armed Lebanese group in 2020. We know that, designated as a terrorist organization. It is absolutely impressive that this is coming from Germany, but we know why this has happened, because of all the pressure coming from the external groups and AfD, and of course, generally speaking, in every opinion poll now in Germany, you can see people are waking up. And the fact that it started in a country like Germany, apart from the European Union a point that I made. Generally speaking, Germany is a very liberal society. It's good. If something like this had started, hypothetically, a country like Hungary or Poland, although Poland don't have this problem, obviously, but let's just say hypothetically, Poland had this problem, Hungary, and they had started this, the same German politicians and the French would have actually criticized them because they are hardcore conservative governments and countries. But the fact that this has actually been pushed to start from liberal countries like Germany is good, because they are doing it and they can normalize it, and other countries from the Netherlands to France and Italy and the others can actually also do the same thing. Now, we do have the next video as well from the police raids on these mosques and Islamic centers. Let's quickly go to that one. So obviously impressive, well done the German authorities and everybody else who have been helping with this. As I said, they've also been collaborating with the Spanish and the Americans to bring down the Hezbollah bases. I think they now know that this is no longer about political correctness. There's no point to discuss that, because this is an actual imminent threat. We know what's going on right now in Paris with the Olympics, and they know that despite their own liberal globalist worldview, all these governments, from the German government to the French government, they know that if they want to have their liberal globalist society, they don't have to just shut down the voices from the more conservative nationalist side, but actually they have to also shut down the Islamist side, because that's also extreme against liberal globalism. That's also a problem for them. Now, of course, we had a statement from the German Interior Minister. We now have a reaction from the Islamic Republic of Iran. They're all kicking off. So the Iranian regime have now summoned the German ambassador in protest at the Islamic Center ban. They're basically in Tehran. The German ambassador has now been called into a meeting to obviously push for this extremist thing. And let's not forget, one of the main reasons that the German government had to do this was because the German society has been very much, since the 40s, been very much pro-Israel and pro-Jewish. And with all this stuff that's been happening in Germany, the collaboration between the AfD and the Jewish communities, there's been a lot of Jewish campaign groups and Jewish lobby groups who've actually been Jewish politicians as well, who've been pushing for this because they don't feel safe in Germany, and rightly so. So Jewish politicians and the AfD side, basically the German nationalists and the Jews and Christians have all been pushing for this to happen, and that really helped. Whereas in this country, in Britain, they're all divided. Yeah, and this is the whole problem that we currently face in the United Kingdom as opposed to in Germany. But the main reason for Germany, same with France and the Netherlands, is that the political right, which now they just call them right, but until 5 years ago, until two years ago, they were just all far right. Although there's still an element of, whether it's Marine Le Pen's party or the AfD, that the media will still call them hard right. Yes, we get that. But they are still more mainstream now compared to 5 years ago, 10 years ago. They have managed to normalize the center-right in general. So mosques are continuing to be closed down. We've got a total of 53 locations and properties in various states across Germany, obviously Hamburg, Berlin, Bremen, and many other areas as well, have all been searched in connections with the ban, according to the Interior Ministry in Germany. Of course, the Iranian regime will have this meltdown. It's absolutely natural. The fear that a lot of people now have is a security for the German embassy in Tehran. We know how barbaric the Iranian regime are, and their militants and their minions in Tehran. Every time something bad happens against them, for example, a few years ago, the British governments were essentially angering the Iranians. So what did the Iranian regime supporters did in Tehran? They went and took control of the British embassy, and the UK had to close down the British embassy for a few years. And then in a very weak and feeble way, the British government under the Tories decided to reopen the British embassy, which was the wrong thing to do. In fact, we should have closed down the Iranian embassy in London and kick everybody out, but we didn't do that because, of course, Joe Biden came out and said, it's okay, we're going to be friends with Iran again, and we're going to give them a lot of money. But when and if Trump returns as president, things will change again. And you can see the atmosphere is changing. Even in Europe, they are already getting ready for Trump presidency because they know there's now appetite. We know that it's not really just about Trump. People in Germany, people in Sweden, people in Denmark, all these countries, in the UK, are now finally waking up. And this is not really about being xenophobic or just against one religion or not. People are simply talking about the imminent threats because they are telling you what they want to do. They want a one world government under the flag of Islam. That's the whole point of it. So people are slightly concerned. And the fact that since October the 7th, a lot of Jews in European countries are being targeted. They finally, to an extent, started to pay attention, and that's good. Poppy keeps posting spamming, ironically spamming, but I keep saying spamming. I'm not really sure if that's the real Poppy or is it a fake Poppy. We got too many Poppies. Okay, so I don't know if it's that one, but spamming a lot. So we're going to be... If you put spamming again, because you were spamming by saying spamming, you will be banned on the live chat. Let's get some reaction from you guys. Let's go to some of the super chats first. Just gaming entertainment from Israel says Mohammed Simulator, police be upon him. And Libel also says, great that you say Germany are the leaders of the EU. Yes. Germany plus the leaders, the ideas of European domination, and obviously it fails. Greetings from Britanized German. Ah, brilliant. Thank you very much for the super chat. Right. I think, people are now saying Poppy is the spammer. I'm not really sure if that's the real one or not, because we got a couple of people pretending to be Poppy as well. But yeah, just a final warning, if you type in the word spamming again and post it, then that will be spamming, basically. All right. Next super chat, again from Lebel, saying Germanization, 8% Muslim of 82 million and 51,315 police officers. And no, there is not and can't be something like moderate Muslim, not in my experience. Mike says, will we see the UK police force doing the same now that Anjem Choudhury has been found guilty? I doubt it. Now, I think everything's happening at the same time. There's a wave of change in terms of the authorities and governments all doing things at the same time, because of course we live in a globalized world and they all in conversations with each other. Anjem Choudhury happening at the same time as the Germans closing down mosques, at the same time as the Spanish government discovering the of course the Hezbollah bases in Spain, all happening at the same time. Clearly they are working together, and of course when the Israelis hit Yemen and the Houthis in Yemen again a couple of days ago, and again there have been so many strikes now, there is not much criticism against Israel now. Until now, you get Joe Biden or the White House, Downing Street, everybody criticizing Israel left, right, and center every time they wanted to defend themselves. But again, this time they're not doing that. We got Cat Rack saying, from India with love, we are facing the same, although you are also spamming. This is a final warning. You're just copy and pasting the same. Okay, no, you're just doing it a lot. So I'm going to have to ban you. Because you clearly know. I just warned you guys about not spamming. Because you're taking space from other people who also want to be part of the conversation in the live chat. There we go. So unfortunately you have to go. Do not copy and paste. So Cat Rack is now gone. Right. What else do we have in the live chat from you guys? Paul says, close them all down. Deport, deport, deport. Yep, go Paul. And Ankla says, hope in the whole of Europe, they are getting paid to become Muslims and also to find, they find wives for them. That's just part of the incentive, isn't it? Jill says, go German patriots, get your country back. Then can you come and free us, British? Mary Moore says, I want to live in Germany, as Britain won't do anything like this. Let's not forget that one of the other reasons the Germans have to do this is because their problem is here. Britain is still here. The Germans, in terms of mass migration and multiculturalism, they're much worse than the UK. We are getting there. But yeah, I don't think it's still safe to move to Germany. With all respect to the German viewers, a lot of them are already leaving to go to America. Fake news. Fake news. So the Interior Ministry of Germany is fake news. And don't believe any news from Germany that says closing mosques. They've literally closed down the mosques. Like, they boarded it up, as you've seen. And the Iranian regime have said that too. Germany support Muslims and their ideology against the Jews. Oh my God. I really hope this person is not an actual doctor, because it says doctor, right? I really hope it's not true, because you have to have a bit of IQ to become a doctor. Fake news. AM says, Maya, why do you conveniently leave out the fact that it's the Jewish politicians pushing for open borders and globalism? Why do I? Firstly, it's not related to this, but I've always talked about this. We've already seen it's the liberal politicians who've always been pushing for more globalism and open borders. And of course, when it comes to modern liberalism, a lot of it is from the Western Jews and Christians, obviously, not the Islamic side. They were the ones, the liberals, that started this nonsense. Now we have to deal with the consequences of all these liberal globalists that have done this. So here, is that good enough? But it's not the Israelis. It's the Western liberal Jews and Christians who've been doing this, and atheists as well. Lee says, thank you for your super chat. Maya, keep up the good work. Your channel is amazing. Another super chat as well from We Can Make UK Awake. And spam as it spams, not as in ham. Please don't block. Not blocking. Right. Someone says, yeah, a doctor of humanities. Subject, lesbian dance theory. So good. All right. Maggie says that we have only 6 mosques in Ulster. Mostly an old house which has been converted. The last one they tried to open kept burning down strangely. Burning down. Oh no. Oh, the Ulster people. Yeah, do not mess with... there are a couple of cultures and mentalities. Do not mess with the Danish, with the Irish, with the Dutch. There are a few people. So the fake news is what they say when they can't handle the truth. I agree. Absolutely spot on. There was a comment about... it's not fake news. All the media here in Germany cover it. It's because it's physically visible. You can go outside the Islamic Center in Hamburg and other places. You can see it's closed. If the Iranian regime are having a meltdown about it, then it's not fake news. Why would it be fake news? Also considering, as I said, the Germans over the last few decades, their alliance and their support for the Jews and Israel, it makes sense, of course, for the Germans to finally wake up and do this. Sandra says, what the hell are you talking about? About news, I guess. That's what I'm talking about. It's very out of context, that comment. Right. Let's see what else we have from Super Chat people. Galloway Raider says, will the real fake Poppy please stand up? There are too many. We can't even tell which one's which. And Natasha says, I would suggest that all other religions join in contacting politicians every day about any hate speech, including this is our country now, etc., etc. Midnight says, protect your wives, daughters, and sheep and lambs. Naughty. Lunatic Asylum says, do we think they are anticipating pushback from the Islamic side? Well, surely that should be expected. Oh, yes. Especially because this is not really just about individual people who are Islamic. This is actually directly about the Iranian regime and Qatar. The fear is there will be a backlash sponsored and funded by the Iranian regime and the Qataris in Germany. And as I said, when it comes to the the German embassy in Tehran. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of threats, so they have to increase the security outside the embassy. If I were the German government, I would close down the German embassy and just come back to Germany. But I know they're not going to do that because of diplomatic relations. But it's going to be problematic. At least expect some sort of protest outside the German embassy today, tomorrow, or the next day in Tehran. And these are not people. These are not Iranian people. These are the Iranian regime members who are the Islamic occupiers in Iran who will be doing this. Right. Robin Pett says, keep up the good work, mate. Love your content, you mean. Yeah, thank you very much. Robin Pett. Star Helix says, did you see Prime Minister's questions today? First question was about Ukraine. WEF Uniparty confirmed. It was a boring Prime Minister's question because there was no opposition from the Tories. They all agree with each other. Mike says, may I have a spam and chips, please? Sorry, spam's off. Oh, Mike, you and your sense of humor. There was another one from... Where's it gone? Oh, there was another super chat that I just missed. What's going on in the chat? It's completely chaotic today. There we go, found it. There we go. We have Lee, thank you for your super chat, saying people really are truly starting to wake up. Will Germany eventually have to have the domino effect? I can see it. Not in terms of like perfect, happy ending and Europe will be Christian again in that sense. No, but definitely a pushback. If the Germans are doing it and the Spanish, that's a good start. Daniel says, I think people just need to listen to Douglas Murray more often. That's also a good point. Also, it's not just Germany because despite his flaws in terms of Emmanuel Macron's liberal globalist policies, he's also, the French government have been forced to start deportations, and they have been doing it. They've been deporting Islamist extremists over the last few months, although there's so many of them. So it's a slow process, but at least they are doing it. So the French are doing their part to an extent. The Germans are doing their part. The Spanish are doing their part. We're still waiting for the British government to do something, but you never know. I think we have another spammer. Copy and pasting things. What's this one saying? Indie something. Maya, how much does the Israeli embassy pay? And when is your next trip to the Zionist genocidal state? So I get paid in McDonald's Happy Meals, and the money it directly comes from Mossad, not the Israeli embassy. And that's how I get paid. And part of my other payment is from CIA. That's just minimum wage, which is not really good. Obviously, the Chinese Communist Party pay my rent, and the FSB in Russia give me food, which I'm not really a big fan of Russian food, but they help with that. The Iranian regime are very good at providing clothing for me. So yeah, the cash comes from Mossad. CIA is also helping. MI5, they are slightly cheaper. They're not really generous, so they just give me coupons to go to supermarkets. So this is all the payments I'm receiving from the intelligence communities. Hopefully that will help answer that question. The best one so far has actually been the Chinese Communist Party. They got a lot of money. Still waiting to get paid by Saudi Arabia as well. They're just a little bit behind. It's okay. Right. Next. Yeah, that's a good point. The French are deporting them, but they're deporting them here. It's not, they're deporting them to the UK, I guess. But they are also doing some of it to back to North Africa and the Middle East. See? Testify. Yes, CIA don't pay well. I know. It's just bureaucratic. It's just too bureaucratic. All right. I'd do this if McDonald's paid me nuggets. I love chicken nuggets. It's so unhealthy, but it's so good. Right. There we go. We got that guy's back. Where's it gone? I just saw the comment. Oh no, I just lost it. Hang on. That troll. Yeah. Where did it go? Give me a second. You're gonna love this. He just responded to what I just said about the intelligence communities paying me. Oh no. Stay with me. It's worth it. It's worth it. Don't go. See, the more you guys leave comments, this scrolling thing is not easy. Okay, I might have lost it, but if you can, because you've been a troll. See if there you go, got it. Indy. Maya, ever had your psychological profile analyzed by a psych? You are to the Iranians and the Muslims a capo to the Jews of the Warsaw Ghetto uprising. I am a self-hating Persian. I hate my heritage and my skin color, and I'm a traitor to all sides, basically. But life is easy, right? I love these trolls. Okay, let's go to some super chats before the weirdos lose their minds. Tracy Lewis, thank you so much, saying, now this is good news. Shut them all down across Europe at least. Why do they need mosques everywhere when they can pray in their homes or a field somewhere? Don't get me started with that. Thanks for the regular updates, Maya, your star. Despite thousands of mosques, you still see streets being blocked because they did the street mass prayers as well. Carlton Rapper says, this Saturday, should I go to the Royal Court of Justice at 12 or go to Trafalgar Square at 1? Best news outlet. Whatever, I mean, depending on what time you wake up, we will be at Royal Court of Justice first to walk together towards Trafalgar Square. Lee says, oh my God, Maya, I have bellyache laughing. I'm just answering their questions. They're slightly worried about how I'm funding myself. So I just gave them the answer. Everybody else gets paid somehow. I think the people who accuse me of getting paid by Mossad or all the other groups, I think they're just jealous that they're not getting paid. Just double down. Never explain, never apologize. Is it gone? Oh, it's not replying anymore. Oh, I miss him. That indie person is giving up now. This is how you deal with them, by the way. Just don't take the bait when they try to troll you. Don't take the bait. Just keep going. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me for another live update. We're going to come back and then we're going to talk about what's happening in Britain. Because while we are praising the Germans, the United Kingdom is doing the exact opposite. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maya Tusi, and we are the media.